Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome. If you're new to cryptocurrency, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. Let's do it right now. I am very close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm 3 away. If you're watching this, you may be watching this in 6 months' time, and I may be a bit higher than that. I don't know. But ultimately, get me there. Be awesome. Now, I'm going to talk about a lot of things in this. I'm not going to talk much about the coin research element. I'm going to talk about AION. Why it could, not financial advice, do okay in the next month or so due to fundamental developments in the coin, and how to set up the Fibonacci on a very simple chart. Very simple. Teach you my way of doing it in terms of the basics, as in setting it up so you can see it, and how you can use it as a very simple method going long, getting back into the trend and seeing a retracement point for an investment opportunity. We're looking to make money. This whole area of expertise is about making money. Why? We're looking for a coin to invest in. We're looking for a coin to kind of get a bit of a piggyback off the media, news, YouTubers, for example, you know, people tweeting, social media, hype and awareness due to a fundamental change in the coin's dynamic. Mainnet, hard forks, stuff like that. Cool things. Now, they always create pumps, and we're going to get into it, okay? So, let's talk about it. Let's go into more detail. But honestly, throughout this whole video, you're going to get a lot of value. At the end, I will show you freaking awesome TA, what you can use, and it is so simple, it will make your brain have a little happy dance, because it is really easy when you strip back all the noise. Let's start. So let's go on to it. AION, the end of the month, it is a mainnet launch. Will it pump or will it dump? 9 times out of 10 they tend to have a bit of a rally somewhere, and you need to find that rally somewhere, and you need to find that point where it's going to bounce off, and we're going to show you that at the end of the video, how you can kind of look at areas where you can look at laddering in your buy orders. Now, you need to do research before you do any of this. This is not financial advice. You're not going to get any research from me about the coin. AION is a very simple Web 3.0 decentralized application platform, essentially. If you want to do further research, please do. Now, why? Mainnet launches tend to create a bit of hype, a bit of general consensus around it that it's going to do something. Buyers look for opportunities for this, and volume will increase, hype, and it'll start to trend. The longer the trend goes, the stronger it will become. And always make sure you sell before it happens, just in case. A lot of people tend to make the obvious mistake that they buy it when mainnet launches in hope of a pump. It's the opposite. It tends to rally up beforehand. Now, one underlying problem right now when I show you this chart, it is dumping at a rate of knots. Why? Bitcoin dominance is incredibly high. We're almost at record highs for the year. Well, I think we're pretty much there now. 57.1%. It's huge. When we go back in what, a month ago, literally 2 months ago, sorry, maybe a bit, 6 weeks ago. Let's say 6 weeks ago, right? Altcoin season, we're at 50% dominance. A lot of money and profit has gone into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's gone to $6,000, $6,100. That is going high because Bitcoin's going up, and what it's doing is it's actually making altcoins suffer. So when you look at the chart, you'll just see it go. It literally is up the stairs, down the elevator. It really is. You've got to be aware of that. So when you are looking at these, you must find a natural support and put a little ladder orders into it and have a stop loss, because it is not concrete. This is technical analysis with fundamental analysis, but you've got to bank on Bitcoin holding its pants, basically one area for a while, for altcoins to stabilize. Now, one thing that I will say, altcoins will start to rally very soon. I think a lot of profits have been made from Bitcoin rallying very high recently. They're going to go somewhere, and they will go into coins. They will go into altcoins, and you'll start to see a bit of a trigger chain reaction where altcoins will start to recover. So we'll see. And let's go into it. Now, AION, I mentioned it. It is a fully working project, but it needs to go onto mainnet for real. It isn't fully there yet. Once it goes into mainnet, it's fully functional. It is on the actual blockchain itself. Now, it has its own coin, it has its own this, that, and the other, but ultimately it needs to have a, the full-fledged element. Now, go to the roadmap. Have a little look at what is happening. Now, this is one of the roadmaps. Now, if I go onto here, this is the element that we're talking about here, where it's going to bridge the migrating of the AION ERC20 tokens to the native AION tokens. The mainnet swap, essentially. It's going to move over. It's going to change the way it is developed. So if you're holding AION tokens in ERC20 wallets, you must go onto the suitable website and discover how to change them. So that is what's happening. Okay. Now these are the other stuff that's happening in the future. Phase 3, phase 2, and this is where we are. So this is already happened, and it's fully going onto it. So current virtual machine, whatever. We're there. And what is going to happen over a period of time, mainnet will happen. Okay, so it will move over officially onto their mainnet. How do you find out this information? If you go onto CoinMarketCap, AVM mainnet, we have mainnet release expected for May with the AVM, and everything is looking good with that. That is what was stated. Now, this is the tweet, or the person who obviously gave that. It was off a AMA basically. So this is what was happening in the development side of it, and you've got to look and you've got to discover how much confidence is in it. This has got a lot of confidence in it, so you've got to go off that. 95% confident, 430 votes, and ultimately, yeah, cool. And let's have a little look at the proof. From Toronto, yeah, so it was basically said at a showcase. Cool, from Toronto. Source. It was said on a video, the AION video. So, in terms of legitimacy, you've got to check it. Why? I got burnt last month, on QuantStamp. They didn't update their websites. They didn't update anything. Their mainnet launch or whatever, or platform launch was already done. So, you need to do your 5 and 10s freaking looks around. You've got to look and see if is it really going to happen. And by the looks of it, that is a good concrete basis. So, they create awareness, hype, social media pumping, YouTube, media. They will all start to talk about AION on its mainnet at some point. Whether or not they do is another thing, but that is why you always use risk management and good technical analysis. So let's look at the chart. Now, this is where the problem lies. We are dumping at a major rate. Now, this here was a nice little trend happening, okay, a nice little cycle. We're retracing quite a bit, a big bit. This was when altcoin season happened. This was when Bitcoin started to moon, okay. Bitcoin's moon, and obviously this is what, a month now, a month and a bit, 6 weeks since we've had any sort of, like, let's have a look from the peak to now. 36 days, okay. 36 days is a long time. Yeah, it's a long time, very long time. So, will we expect some sort of recovery soon? I think yes, if the media peddle it. Now, this already mapped out 68% from where we are right now to that resistance where we rejected, essentially, where it stopped and turned back around. That's a big move. Now, you can see here, historically, we've been a lot higher. Okay, guys? There's a lot of gains to be made in this altcoin market. I'm just saying that right now. Now, you need to look for reversal signs. Now, if you are unsure about any sort of technical analysis, get in my Telegram group. Honestly, you will learn some good stuff. Also, if you are interested in learning, I have courses. I also have premium. I can do basic stuff on my YouTube, but I do not want to confuse the living crap out of people, because I will. Now, this, as it stands, from this area to this area, it is a 1-to-1 retracement. It's literally going to fail. It's going to drop even further very soon. So do not take any sort of action off my words to say that mainnet launches could pump, but it could also have the cataclysmic drop-in effect if Bitcoin keeps rallying. Why? Bitcoin dominance. I mentioned it recently in my premium. Put on BTC.D and all on your trading view chart. you will see the Bitcoin dominance. If it's still trending up, altcoins will die. They are, you can see it, it's simple. When it swaps over and the Bitcoin dominance starts to come down, I mentioned at the start of the video, the altcoins will start to recover because money will be going into altcoins, not into Bitcoin. Simple fundamentals, okay? Now, where are we? Fibonacci. Let's get to the lesson bit now. What do you need to do? Within a trend is very, very simple. It is going either one way or the other. It's either going up or down. We're going to focus on the upside. What you to do when things are going up and when you want to find the retracement. Now, the biggest misconception with making money on trading is the FOMO, the mindset, the stuff you cannot learn in a book or on a video. So I apologize, you will not learn anything about mindset because you cannot do it until you try it. Right. Fibonacci helps you though. It helps you control that state of mind. Now, all you do, you get it on your chart and you go from the lowest point of where the trend started to the top. And you want to find a place where it's going to rebuy. Now this is my Fibonacci. As I mentioned, we're going to get very close to going to a 1 here. Right back to the bloody start. I set mine up so it is very simple to see. The golden ratio is the area where coins like to go to. Not all the time, but they like to bounce off it. Now you can see there's areas of interest. This region here, it bounces off, it goes back up. It bounces again, goes back up. And again. It finally broke below it. It bounces off there, goes back up. Bounces off there, goes back up. You can see the pattern here. These are very strong resistances and very strong supports. I'm only going to concentrate on the retracement element. I'm not going to go from the bounces, the retracements. Simple. So, if I go back in time and go from this period here, so you imagine this. Forget all the nonsense to the right. We'll do this. Okay, cool. What happened here? You want to get back into this trend at some point. You've gone to the peak and go, right, let's see where this is going to go down to. It's time to trend down. This region here would be your focus area because you'd look at laddering in from here down to here just in case because you're in the trend. But the one thing that counteracts this is look at your trend lines. I use EMAs, okay? Now let's zoom right in. You can see it now. I use EMAs and this is basically my default trend line. I will not look to go much lower than these trend lines because it will be a complete fail, but you will get a few wicks. So what my rule of thumb is, I use the EMA 20. That is always my guideline. If I see it turning around, and you can see on other elements of TA on shorter time frames that has topped out, it has hit resistance here. There's resistance right there, and if I just put an alt there right across, you can see that there's elements of resistance right on the nose there, and I probably will not find one again for a while if I do that way. But you need to kind of look at where it goes. Now, 9 times out of 10, you go to the top, you will find a bit of a bounce right on this orange line every time. It does, in a way, but it goes a little bit lower, and then it acts as support. Once it finds it, it finds support here. Finally, we found support. And off it goes, right? Make sense? Cool, I hope it does. Now, I mentioned that these are trend lines. Yes, they are. They are my trend lines. I use EMAs as my trend lines. I do not put long lines on. I do have that element on the Fibonacci where it shows the trend there in a very rough formation, okay? So, do not get overly aggressive on your retracements. Do not always target this region. You've got a ladder. So, you will always ladder in a buy on the 0382. Ultimately, you've got to, or you'll be stupid not to. Oh dear, what's happened there? Go away, line. So that is why it's always orange. I always target that. If you're looking at bounces, I always target that. Depends on what way you're doing it. But this golden ratio here is always hit at some point in the cycle. And you can kind of see if I do this again right to, oh dear, God. I want that bit. Yeah, cool. Back to the top, bottom, cool. You can see here, yeah, it acts as support, but right at the top here, it goes right down and it really drops to it and it bounces right back off it. And it does it again a few times, okay? So, you always have to get on the trend. Once this trend is broken, as in it stopped its cycle, yeah, cool. You want to look at getting in, but you've got to be patient. You've got to look for the turns. You cannot just predict an element of support will land on these. That is where people go wrong. They go, right, Fibonacci on it, we're going to hit here and bounce off. Well, no. The fundamentals on that rejecting it was because the Bitcoin dominance was going up. You've got to look for a turn. So what you do there is you look at other indicators. You basically go into the 12-hour time frame. Okay, as simple as that. You look to see what is happening on the 12-hour time frame. This region here, you can see, right, it's turning. MACD is crossing down. The RSI is looking horrendous. The stock is looking horrendous too. Have we got a turn yet? The only element of turn you got here is this region here, where the stock just turned around and the MACD is starting to cross over. You can maybe get a few little gains in this channel here, but ultimately, if you just go right, it's not turned. It rejected that level of support and came down. So always have a stop loss, or always look to take profits as and when you can. You know, when you get into a trend, you got to look at the underlying elements, and what is you can see. And going back to the start, it is out of the trend because it is below my trend line. It is below the EMAs. So you wouldn't even enter or consider a long position. So, there you go. Simple as that. I'll probably confuse people now. But when I'm looking at buying into this, let's look at this one properly now. When I'm looking at buying at this, I know that this is out of the trend. Okay, so previously you can get in the trend when it's holding as a trend. When the stronger the trend, the better it is. Fundamentals, the strong get stronger. It's usually how it works. Now, a little bit croaky. When I look at this, it's a mess. It is in a downtrend. You do not want to enter anything. You don't even want to touch it. You need to wait for it to turn. So, what am I starting to see here? We're going to go to oversold conditions very, very soon. This is starting to turn a little bit. It may turn. It's also in oversold conditions. We could start to see in the next couple of days, this could turn and start rallying up. Once it starts crossing over into these EMA, so when the red line grows above the orange line and turns green, it will indicate a start of a trend. Simple. When that happens, you try and stay in the trend. If you miss it and you FOMO into it, put a Fibonacci on it. And again, all you need to do is go onto any sort of chart. You can see this. So, for example here, this is the 12-day chart. You see this region here, you go, oh my god, it's gone, oh no, I missed it. Put a Fibonacci on it from this region here, from where this trend started. Just see where it is. You don't have to do anything about it. See where it is. Now you can miss that and go, okay, cool. You may put a little buy order in there and you may catch an element of it. Cool. You made a bit of money there. Sell, because that's resistance now. Come down, resistance again. It failed to break through it and it's coming down. Hit the next layer of support, the golden ratio, and it fell below it and went down to 7.8. They are great support resistances, honestly. Again, you can go further afield, and go from February to the top. Where are we? Did we hit it? Hold on. Let me do this better, because this may look quite cool if it does it. Actually, yes, I can. I can start from this region here. Let's see where it goes. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So it went all the way up. It didn't go all the way down, but it found element of support on the 0382. So currently, from that period there, we're on the 382 as support. If it breaks below that, our next support is $64. So there you go. I hope this has helped you in understanding how a trend works. We are out of the trend here. So it only is valid when you're in the trend. So, for example, here, if I go to this point here, I'm going to go over this very, very quickly now. This is the 12-hour time frame, just to make it a bit quicker. If you're looking at this region here, and you're like, right, cool, we're stopped here. I want to see where we're going to go. 9 times out of 10, you're going to wick below, but you're never going to close fully into a horrible region. It's going to be a cataclysmic jump if we're going to go from there down. That's like a 30% drop. It's not going to happen overnight. This region here, 16%, that's a massive drop. Huge drop. It doesn't happen all the time. When you zoom in, though, and you look at what's happened, that's a huge candle. We did not close fully, officially, realistically. We did there, but it bounced the next day. Below that region here, that would be the target area that you'd go for anyways, over this region, to get back into the trend. Try to get back into the trend. Okay, your element is to try and get back into it. If it fails and your stop loss is activated, you may lose a couple of percent. So say for example here, you put in a cheeky little buy order in around this region, you put ladders in and you put a stop loss in. Okay, imagine like you start from there and you put a stop loss in down to that region there, you may lose 6 or 7%. Okay, if it goes even further and tanks, may happen, may not. But that is how you get back into the trend. So there you go. I hope you like this video. I hope you've learned something and I've probably blown your mind. But get in the Telegram group, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, and I'll see you again tomorrow.